Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to my new little vlog series that I've decided to make. And I'll tell you what started it all. The movie The Electric State just came out onto Netflix not that long ago. And lo and behold, it's based off a book. I had no idea. And so it's funny because, so this is going to be my first installment. So reading this book, I have no interest in watching the movie. However, if I read the book and I decide that, hey, maybe I'll check out the movie, maybe I'll do that too, and I'll add the little review of what I thought of the movie in here. I'm still toying with that, especially since I have no interest in seeing this movie in particular, but I had no idea it was based off a book until I kept stumbling across it on TikTok, and I was like, well, let's check it out. I don't even know what any of it's about. And it says, in late 1997, a young woman and her small yellow robot travel west through a strange American landscape where the ruins of gigantic battle drones litter the countryside, along with the discarded trash of a high-tech consumerist society addicted to a virtual reality system. As they approach the edge of the continent, the world outside the car window seems to unravel at an ever faster pace, as if somewhere beyond the horizon, the hollow core of civilization has finally caved in. Yeah, okay. That seems really interesting. And I like it because it's actually just like, it's actually like a giant picture book. All right, I'm gonna get started on this bad boy. I'll let you know when I'm a little ways through what I think of it. So I thought I would do an update of The Electric State since I'm about halfway through. And I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what this book is about. Basically, we are just following our main protagonist, who we find out her name is Michelle, and Skip, who I'm assuming is a robot. Just, if it wasn't for the pictures in the book, I wouldn't know, because they don't tell you. The author does not tell you. And they seem to be going on some sort of road trip. Where to? I have no idea. Where from? I don't know. And interjected throughout the book is seemingly a different perspective, which is like on these pages. I assume they're gonna start telling us about some sort of war that happens, because there's talk about drone pilots and being connected to a Neuralink type thing, and there's also, while Michelle and Skip are going on the road trip, is interjected with scenes of her reminiscing about her growing up. And so we learn a little brief bit about her stay with her grandfather, and then a little bit with her foster parents after her grandfather passes away. And from those perspectives, we get to see that there is like a VR type headset thing that people are wearing, and it doesn't say what these people are doing in the VR headset type things, but I'm guessing it's kind of like a Ready Player One situation where they're just like basically living their entire lives inside these headsets. And so we get to see kind of what happens a little bit to some of the people, because her foster parents get these headsets, and there's like some sort of update that happens, and now people are like not taking them off, and stuff is happening biologically to them. But like, I don't understand where this story is going. I'm guessing it's something to do with having some sort of weariness towards being completely immersed in technology, which, you know, I can't say I disagree with. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of stories that just drop me into something and give me nothing, if that makes sense. Honestly, the only thing that's keeping me going with reading this is A, the fact that I want to make some sort of video content out of it, but B, really the main thing keeping me going is the fact that there's pictures to look at throughout the book, and like, that's pretty cool. I'm struggling to like it, but I don't necessarily hate it. I don't know. I'm gonna keep going. I'll update when I'm done since I'm halfway through. Alright, okay, bye. So I thought I'd give an update because I finished The Electric State. So I can't really give too much more about the plot away than I already have because it's such a short book story, really, that I would give away major plot points and discoveries, even though like there wasn't much to the story. I didn't have a terrible time. I didn't have the best time. Upon further research on this author in particular, he seems to be more of an artist first and then author. And so how it felt to me after I finished it is that he had created all the artwork first and then tried to create a story off of the artwork. I think conceptually that's a really neat idea. I personally wish there was more of a story. Like, the story that was there is captivating enough that I actually wanted more. Like, I could have used an actual like full-blown novella of this story and journey. But I think in the end I'm gonna give it 3 stars. Now originally I had no interest in watching the movie, but now I'm curious to watch the movie because from the clips that I've seen, I don't understand how it relates at all to the book except for like the girl and the robot. And I almost fear that it doesn't fully capture like the essence of the story, or I'm not sure how that's gonna go. All in all, I give it a 3 star. I really did enjoy the artwork. I just wish there was more of a story, but I had a pretty good time with it. So that's it for this. If I do watch the movie, I will throw in my review of it at the end. Alright, thanks, bye. Last update for this video. I think I told you I gave this a 3 star yesterday. I ended up changing it and I gave it a 5. And the main reason for that is that all last night I could not stop thinking about this book. I couldn't stop thinking about all of the wonderful questions that I was able to like think of just from reading the book, and it led to me and my husband having a wonderful conversation. However, what was not spectacular for me was the movie. So I did end up watching the movie, and I have to say, I did not enjoy it. I did not have a good time. I think for having such wonderful source material to go off of, I feel as though they just wanted to use some of the imagery from the book and wanted to make this big blockbuster film, which I feel, to me, it does a disservice to this book. Like, if you wanted to make a huge blockbuster film about robots versus people and whatnot, like, that's one thing. I don't feel it should have been associated with the book. I feel as though it could have been such a wonderful, thought-provoking film, along with it being a blockbuster. Like, you didn't have to separate the two. Like, there was some really creepy-ass photos in this book that you could have turned into a wonderful, like, some sort of wonderful story. Like that alone is fucking creepy. And it was just disheartening, because in my head I could see the movie that I would have liked and would have made from this book, and it's nothing like the movie that I watched on Netflix, unfortunately. Aside from that, even if I just separated the source material from the movie, I still didn't enjoy it. To me, it felt like they weren't sure the direction that they necessarily wanted to go with this movie, and just kind of like slapped things together to see what stuck. The other thing that I didn't enjoy was that I didn't enjoy Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown on screen together. I don't feel that those two actors had any sort of chemistry with each other at all. there was more chemistry with like the side characters in some of the scenes than the two main characters of the story. I felt the story was rushed. It felt like, honestly, it just felt like a hot mess to me. It felt, what was the word we were using? It felt flat. Like, the story felt flat. The main characters felt flat. Even the use of the imagery from this book felt flat. To me, it felt like they wanted the name. Because, like, the Electric State, like, that is a cool name. But it was just disappointing because maybe I should have watched the movie first and then the book, and then read the book. But either way, I like the book. Like I said though, there isn't much of a story. It's very open-ended. Like but there's a lot of conversations that could be drawn from this book that you could have with people. You know, conversations around the climate crisis, conversations around digital screen time for people, the conversations about relying too heavily upon technology, conversations to be had about the foster care system and the splitting up of siblings, and just all sorts of different wonderful conversations that can be had from this book. And I don't think the movie really had any of them. I don't feel as though the movie left me having any sort of conversation. Honestly, the movie did not imprint upon me. The only thing it did was make me go, okay, Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown probably shouldn't co-star in a movie together because there was zero chemistry between them on screen. Anyway, so this was my first episode of reading books that were turned into movies that I didn't know were books to begin with. Episode 1. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Okay, bye!